Black Market News, your worldwide weed price guide. Welcome to Black Market News, the podcast with your worldwide weed price guide and other illegal topics with your host, me, Harvey O. I'd like to thank MissFortuneCookie.ca, the Misfortune Cookies with jokes that make you laugh at yourself and others. These are little fortune cookies dipped in chocolate with roasting jokes. That's jokes that make fun of certain people or subjects. Make fun of your mom, dad, your kids, that annoying person who works at Starbucks. It's better than sending them a bag of poop, and it's not illegal. And they'll enjoy it while they're getting made fun of. So try it out. MissFortuneCookie.ca, Facebook, and on Instagram. Give David a check out. And I'd like to thank Miss Fortune Cookie for supporting BMN Podcast. If you like to advertise your crazy business or anything, just let me know at bmnpod@gmail.com. Sorry for being late, people, but it happens. Been working on a chicken shed here lately. Going to build a big giant chicken barn to be the greatest chickener to ever survive a pandemic. Probably not. But let's have fun with it. This week, I'm going to talk about disinformation. Disinformation, that's false information that is intended to mislead, especially propaganda that is usually given out by a government or a media source about a rival power organization. Like, say, a news source kept saying a bunch of bad stuff about a group they didn't like, while disregarding all the bad things about the group they did like. That's propaganda.
You don't see me making hippie hops about it.
This week's been a great week for comedy podcasts. I don't know if you guys listen or watch, but you need to check out The Flagrant 2. They had Alex Jones on there. He's going to be a big inspiration for our episode this week. Alex Jones, everybody sees him as a crazy man. He said a lot of crazy things, and he's been wrong about a lot of things. Like, every other human on planet Earth. But he has been right about a lot of things. He's got a lot of truth, he says, and then he jokes and says some outrageous things that people who don't pay attention or listen to him, they don't usually get. But he is always a hoot to hear. I love conspiracy theories. My favorite one, someone told me one time that there was no oceans. Growing up on the coast, I can assure you guys that there are oceans. There's a lot of water. Any survivor of hurricanes or a tsunami would probably have a good argument against you. Just saying. But while I'm going to talk about disinformation, this week I want to give you some disinformation I can confirm. That's some old stuff I remember, some stuff going around. Saw South Park did a little episode and made fun of the QAnon people and everything, which can't lie, I do that a lot myself. It's fun. Everybody wants to make fun of the buffalo head shaman or raccoon head. Who knows what the hell he's got on his head. He's got buffalo horns and raccoon skins. I heard the pecker of a possum hidden under there for good luck. Who knows what else. But this week I want to talk about Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome, it is real. It is for sale online. Adrenochrome is adrenaline that has been oxidized.
You smoke too much sativa.
So, say naturally, if you get injured, your blood system would pump out this from your adrenal gland, it pump out adrenaline to rush through your body. But when it hits the open wound, it will constrict your blood vessels and help stop the bleeding and stop the wound, because that's what adrenochrome does, and that's what it's used for medically. There are doctors who have studied and they use it to help stop bleeding. If you're someone who has a bad bleeding problem, some doctors might have it on standby for you. Now, what's the disinformation that's been given out about adrenochrome? Well, people who take adrenaline extract from humans, or what people call vampires, the people who like to torture others and suck fresh blood from their body, they do not get adrenochrome. I'm sure by the time some of it hits their digestive system, some of it, if not a lot of it, has turned to adrenochrome, but they are going for adrenaline. And in the Fear and Loathing books, Hunter S. Thompson, he also talked about adrenochrome. And when he said adrenochrome, he meant this adrenaline extract. He did not mean actual adrenochrome like you would get from a doctor. Something they've made from altering DNA and bacteria to create for you. He's talking about adrenaline extract taken from a needle or bled from a scared human in the heat of a moment, and not any good stuff you like. But that's what he was talking about, and that's what he took and said that he tripped out crazy, was a very powerful hallucinogen. But as far as science can tell, and you can look this up too, adrenochrome and adrenaline have no hallucinogenic properties proven scientifically, and they are not proven not to be hallucinogens scientifically.
You smoke too much sativa.
So I mean that's just a toss up. I guess they just won't allow anybody to do an actual test and say one way or the other. Like I said, adrenochrome is for sale online, and when I talk about the vampires and people who like sucking blood or drinking blood of younger people and believing it's going to help them, that's not a fantasy thing, and it's not just a fetish thing you see on TV.
Herpes.
There's been many people caught doing this, many famous people too. If not actually doing it, they've been caught, what is Alex Jones, reenacting sacrifices and stuff like that. But there are vampire groups too, where you can go and donate yourself. I don't think those people are scared and have the adrenaline like other people do. Probably the first time they ever get bit or stabbed or bled, they probably do have some adrenaline rushing, and I'm sure that's what the people really like. But just so you know, there was a company called Ambrosia, and they were in California, and what they did, they would transfer young plasma, that's what they said, to your body, and they would give you an age of a person. Usually they said 16 to 22, but they were sued and were caught. You can hear pucker poo hollering out. There's a lot of things that are just he said, she said with the whole Ambrosia thing. But as far as I know, they've been shut down because they were caught with blood from people under the age of 16. And now they have a new business out. It's called something else. Yeah, the company Ambrosia, it was shut down by the FDA. And there is no proof that any blood transfusion from young people or anybody that's healthier than you has any health benefits other than if you need blood. Now, if you're out of blood, they give you some, good deal. But this the new business he has now is called IV Plasma, and the guy Jesse Karmazin, he's the startup of Ambrosia, and now what is IV Plasma, and the one who has been claiming that giving blood transfusion is going to help people, which his only source of information is pretty much like black magic and spiritual beliefs that say that the blood of the younger holds the power to help can't think today, people.
You smoke too much sativa.
To help longer life. So I mean, there's a lot of people think he can get blood transfusion and it'd be the the elixir of life, that keep them young forever. But there is no proof of it. But he has returning customers. He sells a liter of young blood for $8,000, or 2 liters for $12,000. Any American or a human or alien, probably anybody off planet, you're coming town, you coming through the universe, you can go by Cali and get you some blood. You don't have to waste your time with any cows or probes or anything. You don't have to get out of nobody's ass. You had the straight blood in the bag. It's got to be worth saving the time. I don't know how much money you got. Maybe if you're alien, maybe you got some Bitcoin or some shit. Who knows? But also, you add a little bit more information for the old Adrenochrome. Like I said, there's many places online you can buy it. That goes for about 25 milligrams for $57. It is C9H9NO3. That is adrenochrome. That is what happened. That is what you get from the oxidation of epinephrine from your adrenal gland. Okay. And like I said, there's no proof that it does give you a buzz, and there's no proof that it does not. And if you're going to talk about adrenochrome, you might as well get around the Pizzagate and talk about the truth about the emails. Hillary Clinton, John Podesta. Pizzagate was proven to be false. And the stuff that John Podesta went on TV and claimed was false was false. He did not lie. He gave you disinformation. The world, we got emails that were passed between Clintons, John Podesta, and a few other Democrats and Republicans and high CEOs, and they were posted on WikiLeaks. Julian Assange, and he is still under fire by these groups. Now they don't even claim that it was this. They're actually looking for something illegal that he did. If you go on Wikipedia right now and look up Mr. Assange, they don't even mention authenticated leaked emails of John Podesta talking about pizza aged around 8 to 14 years being at his party, and that pizza will be in the pool for your entertainment, which we know Prince William likes after the Netflix documentary. Or who knows? Maybe we are all wrong, right? Who knows? That is the truth. There are emails out there. They were authenticated. They were Hillary Clinton's stolen emails and John Podesta's. And in these emails, they talk about trading pizza. And then the FBI announced and put out a whole report saying that child traffickers and pedophiles use these terms, pizza and other things, for their victims. And not a coincidence. They told you the facts. They told you what was going on. It was in everyone's face. But then they turned the attention to James Alefantis and Ping Pong Pizza, which wasn't the best idea. Because there's a few things about James Alefantis that is pretty messed up. See, his real name is James Rockefeller. Though I will say, the guy who did the Pizzagate thing, there is no basement at Ping Pong Pizza. I guess there's another venue that Mr. Alefantis owns, and at that venue there's a second floor, not a basement. And at that second floor, there's been recordings of people outside, just standing in the street, hearing kids and people scream, and they're recording it, and they've called the police, and nothing ever happens. But let's get back, Mr. James Alefantis, why it was a bad idea to turn your attention to him. Because he is really James Rockefeller. His pizzeria, the little ping pong place, it actually held private concerts that had bands that talked about child molestation and other sexually criminal activities. Great place to take your child. There was a video of Majestic Beast, one of the worst of these groups, and he used facial recognition to determine that James Alefantis was a singer in one of the recordings. But they used voice-changing technology in the singing. And in this certain video, it was a man. He was talking about how he liked to torture children. I've saw that video, but I've also seen other videos of this band play. And there's a apparent different woman, and her voice sounds totally different, even with the voice changer. She sounds totally different. I don't know what it is about like the tone or something, even with the voice changing. It was still different. But I hear that they claim that there's a woman singer. Not in the video that was leaked by one of his private guests. He did deliberately buy property that has satanic numbers and other ironic coincidences, that become more than just a coincidence or just a luck of chance after so many correlations. You can't go by number 666 building in the street and then draw out a pentagram and buy every property on the edge of that pentagram and be like, oh, I don't know how it worked out like that. Some people are just going to have questions, and that's human nature, and it's good that you do. His Instagram had a photo of a tortured child taped to a table that looked like she hadn't slept in a week, and more importantly, was a very close resemblance to Madeleine McCann. Madeleine McCann, the little girl abducted in, I think, like Portugal or something. British girl. It was real sad. Clintons and others have been reported to pay $50,000 or more for pizza from him. So, you can watch Schultz Saves America, even see that. And if you want to doubt the information, just look it up. That's the great thing about the internet. You can always just look it up. Now you want to connect the dots between them all, you say. So remember old Madeleine McCann, the poor little girl. Some people have claimed that she is probably dead. I don't think she's dead unless old James Rockefeller's godchild, that's who she claimed the picture was of his godchild. Unless she's dead, I don't think Madeleine's dead. First of all, John Podesta, Tony Podesta, and Ghislaine Maxwell were identified by Sketch as her abductors, as Madeleine McCann's abductors. You can look at 6 of the sketches of the people who stole that girl. I've made this into a meme, people. It's so obvious, it's mind-boggling why they haven't connected it 10 years ago when it happened. Say 10 years ago, I don't even know how many years ago that was. But it is just mind-boggling. You look at a picture of Ghislaine Maxwell and you look at the sketch of the woman they think that took that little Madeleine McCann girl, and it's her. It's her same haircut, her nose, her face shape. And then you see the picture of these other 2 guys that were in the limo, and they look just like John Podesta and his brother Tony Podesta from afar. Just like them, And that's not just a coincidence, especially with the news out today. We know what Epstein and Ghislaine were up to, and they say the person was at a distance and saw this. They weren't like up close and got to look into the limo and say bye to little Madeleine as she was being abducted. They saw this from afar, and those pictures still really match. It's crazy just to think that someone wouldn't do something about that, not save the kids, or even the parents. Even the parents have a civil case if they were looking for it. After watching documentaries and getting information on little Madeleine McCann, I think her parents are some sick people who I wouldn't really want to hang out with. I'd talk to them, but I wouldn't hang out with them. I'd definitely ask them some questions, but hear what they have to say. And that's your connection between old John Podesta and Mr. Rockefeller. There's no secret there. You end up with the girl taped to the table looking like she was being tortured, and just random adults standing around. This was posted on his Instagram, James Alefantis, which I think is private now, but you can still find that out there. That little girl looked just like Madeleine, but me or anybody else cannot confirm that. Madeleine looks like the girl that is his goddaughter. That is all accusation and no confirmation on that one little part there.
You don't see me making hippie hops about it.
If this is new to you, don't think you're stupid for listening to the lies. Believe me, everybody falls for it. And there's people who still believe the Queen of England is a decent person, and then they'll say she bragged about making men undress in front of her. That's pretty much rape, people. That's straight up bragging about rape. And her butler, one of them, was one of the biggest child traffickers in the world at one time. And that's not a coincidence, The First Nation people of BC, they talked about the Queen and her husband showing up and 9 children going missing. There's another correlating circumstance. So I don't want to forget to add that her butler, he was vetted, the one who was the biggest child trafficker in the world. He was vetted by MI6, MI5, and he was under constant surveillance by MI6. So they knew, they know, and they participated. And I believe there's a few cases and accusations that back that claim up. There's a lot. It really goes all the way back to Margaret Thatcher helping cover it up. Way back. Really probably since someone has evidence of anybody doing wrong and they actually wrote it down and weren't afraid to die for it. That's how far back that evidence goes. Exclusive. We're talking exclusive. Exclusive. And like I said, this week with the good news for mid-March, this comedy podcast are getting guests again, becoming great. You check out YMH. This episode was off the charts. Flagrant 2 with Alex Jones. Great episode you shouldn't miss. Him and Akash have a little fling ding in the lights. I think Alex was singing little sweet tunes, seeing angel wings on Akash.
Herpes.
And you got old Chrissy Chaos coming out with TT Jerry. Some of the greatest shit you'll ever see. Yeah. Tranny that's been in prison for 15 years. Mr. TT Jerry. His Uncle Jerry is probably one of the most sophisticated and wise people you'll hear on a comedy podcast. I really think him and TT Jerry and Alex Jones, they need to get together. And that would be the best news for the world of 2021. We get a TT Jerry, Alex Jones podcast once a month. We'll let Alex come out with all the good news, and we'll let old Jerry say what he's got to say about it. Help him get his hormone pills. If you want to help out TT Jerry, you check out Chris D Comedy on Patreon. Don't forget to check out Black Market News on Patreon. If you're listening to this, hey, I love you. You're the 15, 20 people that stay constant with. Sorry for being late. We got to do what we got to do. I'm going to try to fix this sound. I'm going to try to get it down. Try to get it for you. Not be like a clown. I'm going to rap like Arnold.
You don't see me making hippie hops about it.
Just got to keep it going, people. Exclusive. We're talking exclusive. Exclusive. This is your worldwide weed price guide. Washington State, it's $5 to $15 a gram. California, around $15 to $25 a gram in the black market. Oregon, about $15 a gram in the black market. They got shrooms too, around $2,000 a pound, maybe a little cheaper. Vegas, around $10 to $15 a gram. When we got the dogs chime in, they want to let you know how much the dog kibble's going for. So they get that Alpo for around like 35 cents a gram. And they get that what was that? I think that good shit that Rachel Ray's like $1.10 a gram. I have to stay away from that. We ain't serving filet over here. Colorado coming in around 80 to 300 for an ounce in the legal stores, but it's a 160 ounce for the nice homegrown street weed, and that's what we're talking about here. Northern Texas, 100 a quarter for the nice stuff, $2.25 an ounce for the Mideasts. We got Madison, Wisconsin's got $40 an eight, $2.25 or 300 for an ounce, and they're smoking that sticky Gorilla Glue. Thank you, Reddit user Wrinkled. Thank you, Reddit user Wrinkled. They don't have the tongue anymore. Thank you, Reddit user Wrinkled.
You smoke too much sativa.
I can speak again now. I have seen the light. Kentucky flour is $200 to $250 an ounce. Indiana is $5 to $15 a gram for flour, $140 to $235 an ounce. Illinois, 8s are $25 to $60. Onions, that's what I call ounce onions, $180 to $265. Virginia, $10 to $20 a gram. 240 to 300 for onions. North Carolina, 15 to 25 gram for flour. Just like Cali, one coast to coast, they going for 25 for that G. Better be some sticky, icky. 30 to 50 a gram for oils over there in North Carolina. Georgia, they got the Zaza for 60 to 70 a quarter. I say that's the good stuff. I saw some Zaza that has gold plated. I don't know why the fuck anybody was buying gold foil and putting it on weed. Feels special. Florida has quarters from 80 to 140. Understand, why people go to Georgia to get the weed. They don't go to Florida. They go to Georgia. Rhode Island, 150 to 300 for an onion. Maine, $6 to $10 a gram. New York, 25 to 40 an 8. Jersey, concentrates, $20. $20 for the jack shit. $200 for a quarter ounce. Dummy. Learn to read. I don't know why I just didn't remember it. Coming in with Canada, $5 to $10 a gram in the Manitoba, Alberta area. Southern Ontario is around 100 to 130 for a quarter. Dude man says I said 100 for a quarter. 130 for an ounce in the street in Southern Ontario, but there's good stuff for around 300 online on the internet plug. Don't know how to get up with the internet plug, but they say it's there. Across the pond, I got Madrid. It's 5 to 8 euros a flour for that amnesia. I'm talking about England. When I say flour, usually flour and hash, the same price. So you can just go off of that. And they usually have hash just as frequent as flour. It's easier to transport across all the borders. Macedonia, Skopje, flour is between $2 to $6 a gram, $2.30 for a kilo. Bucharest, Romania, $5 to $10 a gram. Bavaria, Germany. I can't do no German accent. What kind of accent I'm doing really ever. But in Bavaria, we got 10 to 15 euro for a flour. Manchester, England, 10 to 20 euros for a gram. Fuck the Queen in between your teeth. 140 to 210 an ounce. You can thank Reddit user James85858 for that song. He wrote it. No, I'm lying. I'm just telling lies because I like to. Oslo, Norway is selling 8s for 60 euros. But since COVID, dealers are giving the 2.5 grams instead of the 3.5 gram for 8s. You suck, people. Get it straight. Let's get it back to the regular. The pandy's over. Everybody's over it. We're ready. People going out snorting the vid off and licking the vid off of poles, snorting vid off rails. Kids kids go down handrails and lick them for X Games instead of ride the skateboards down them. That's all they got to do. Just go and tongue right down the handrail. Extreme. We got Poland got 40 zloty for a gram. Nice flour. Zloty sounds African, but who knows if I'm saying it right. New to the list, Ecuador. They're not new to the list. They've got $20 for a quarter ounce. Jammu Kashmir, 1,000 to 3,000 rupees for a full chali. That's $14 to $45 US, and the chali is a corn husk filled with hash that is buried to cure. I don't know how much hash it is, and there totally could be 2 ounces, could be 4 ounces if it's dense, who knows. But it looks like a lot for 15 to 45 bucks. Southern India, they have the Indian greens. Does not look good. Looks like just some Reggie, but they say it smokes well, tastes good. So no complaints, right? But at $4 get you like a cigarette cellophane full of Reggie. Milana, India is the hash capital of the world. The Milana cream is 15 to 25 for a gram, 4,000 for a kilo. Russia, we got around 2,000 ruble for $25 for a gram, and that's the shishka. Okay, said around $20 to $25 US a gram over there. New Zealand, a gram is around 20 bucks. If your area was not mentioned or you disagree with the reported prices, please send an email to bmnpod@gmail.com or message at bmnpod on Twitter and help the news keep up to date. There's going to be a new podcast. It's like my live show. I'm going to call it Green Gray Matters. Green Gray Matter. And I'll definitely be letting you guys know when that comes out. These shows might go from once a week to once every 2 weeks, twice a month. We'll see. The more building I keep doing, the less time I have to research. So I have to stay with stuff I can easily find information on that I know about. Unfortunately, it is all this pedo shit. That is something you don't really want to go down the rabbit hole on. So just listen to my crazy shit and keep on moving. And thank everybody for signing in, listening, hitting the like button, sharing with all your friends. Share wherever you can. Anybody on Apple, leave a review. Hit that 5 stars if you love me. This week's song is Fire Away by Forget the Whale. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like button. Tap the screen. If you're scared, say you're scared. Let's get canceled.
Until she showed up